So Miss Havey presents us with this burger and fries that she claims to be made from God knows what material, yet has very little background, or seems to have very little background in food science or understanding of why this food looks the way it does. Perhaps Miss Havey might want to, get up to speed on, a little bit more about, the reasons why these foods look after 4 years as good as they actually do. Now, the food is certainly not edible, and it's definitely very well preserved. It's almost mummified. And the reason behind this, maybe we might want to take a look at the French method of food preservation called confit, which is basically cooking foods in fat at just above or just around the boiling point, to basically impregnate the food or surround the food with fat so that it is not exposed to air, and ultimately it becomes, preserved in the fat itself. So if we take a look at something like this jar full of solide de porc, confit, same type of preservation method is what we see with confit de canard, which are more common, which would be duck legs that are basically put into just boiling fat, duck fat, and left to simmer until they're cooked through. The duck is then, in this case, the meat is then put into a mason jar, and the fat is poured on top of it, whereby there's no, the air is no longer touching the food, and ultimately you leave the food in these jars for a number of months, and you take them out later, and it's absolutely fine. In the case of the French fries are impregnated with a fat, and the French fries are not going to decay or mold because of the fact that the salt inhibits some of the bacteria, and the fat is impregnated through the fry, so there's very little moisture left in there for the mold to grow. Same with the hamburger. As the burger's cooked, the meat becomes saturated with the fats that are in the burger itself. Now, does McDonald's put a mold or bacteria or mold inhibitant in there, or other type of preservative? Very possibly. They may very well have something in their fry oil to induce rancidity, like BHA or BHT. And the food will ultimately, after it's cooked, will remain looking as good as it does. Doesn't mean the food is edible. Nobody really wants to eat it, but you're not going to see mold growing on it because the food is in fact preserved by the fat and salts and the seasonings in that food. So before Miss Havey goes out and starts making claims and creating fear, uncertainty, and doubt about, what's in the McDonald's product, she might want to get a little bit of background so she can answer these questions a little bit more intelligently, rather than trying to, create panic about it. Yeah, McDonald's is probably not the healthiest stuff to eat every day, or even eat at all, but it's certainly not alien-made product. The potatoes definitely will definitely be exposed to a lot of fat, but it's not as if the potatoes are made in a factory. So Miss Havey, please get a little bit background in food science before you start trying to go out and purport yourself to be the expert that you want to be, and do it with a little bit more intelligence.